What's up, everybody? So this is going to be a ramble asking for help and advice and trying to figure out how to do a particular color, because I look at the image we're looking at here. It's the only image in this ramble here. This image is of a 15th Legion legionary during the Great Crusade, prior to becoming the Tisca Ruby Red Thousand Suns we know and love. This is what I refer to as a Unification era scheme. We've seen a bunch of these for different legions, but I'm not looking to replicate this whole scheme, just the main armor color. And I hit a brick wall many times, and I'm trying to figure out how to possibly replicate this in miniature form. So a couple of caveats. It is an art print. I'm aware of that. It's on kind of a glossy page. It tends to come off a bit more glossy or even a bit more metallicized than maybe it's supposed to. I don't, just bear that all in mind when you're looking at it. I'm well aware of that. The second thing is we do have example miniatures painted up with this, but it's done in what I call a documentary style photo from Forge World, which they're really good at. They put filters and other effects and editing on a picture to make it look like it's mid-battlefield, and that's awesome. But we have that going on here. Grain effect, rain effect, lightning, and heavy overcast sky. So yeah, that, darkness and lightning and everything else. Muzzle flashes, helmet lenses, the whole 9 yards. It looks like a picture mid-battle, and that's cool. But I'm not looking at a sterile studio image of a model, though. So all those effects are applied over the entirety of the image. Having said that, it is of a tank and of some infantry, and we do see that it looks like the main armor color is just more of a metallic steel, almost like a Grey Knight armor color. Completely 100% admit that when we see it. It's on page 144 and 145, I didn't say, of book 7. So I'm aware of that. That's not the point of this ramble, though. I bring it up because someone might bring it up and somebody might go, "You moron, it's just a steel color." And I get what you're saying for the 15th Legion armor color here. But I'm not looking to replicate that. I'm looking to take the main armor color off of this art print and see what we can do to replicate that. And yeah, while it's an art print, so is a bunch of other stuff that people have replicated to amazing effect. So I'm convinced, or at least I'm confident, we could definitely bear some fruit here. I just don't know how, because I'm not that great of a painter, hence the help I need. So with that said, I have given this a lot of thought. I've compared it directly to other images from the Horus Heresy series from Forge World, as well as Forge World's Imperial Armor stuff. I've compared it to pre-Heresy Unification era images that are metallic and gray. I've compared it to Death Guard Legion Horus Heresy imagery with their bone white. I've compared it to post-Heresy Deathwing bone white and Angels of Absolution bone white. And nothing is a close enough match where I feel like it's meant to be similar or the same. This feels different from all that. And it definitely feels different from the base steel we see in that one picture of models that's heavily photoshopped and whatever else. So I'm not really sure how to proceed. I have given it some thought and some basic testing. Nothing really bore fruit yet, hence this ramble. Aragax Earthshade, Seraphim Sepia are fantastic washes, fantastic shades. They do great at getting the recesses. They do great at darkening things down in the recesses and even making things grimy and dirty. And when it's done over metal, that's almost instantly what happens. It gets a dirty feel, a weathered, grimy, dirty feel. It doesn't get this almost metallic coating type of feel that we kind of see in this art piece. So that didn't work out. And I knew that without even having to test it. It was my first thought, but when I just gave it more than this 1 second of thought, I realized that's really not going to work. Then I thought, contrast. Skeleton Horde. Skeleton Horde looks very brown in the paint pot, but when you do it over like Wraithbone or wherever else, you get a really good looking bone, or a start to bone. And I'm thinking, that might bear some fruit over metallic, and I actually tested that on some metal painted sprue. It does a cool effect, but not what we're looking for. It looks more like a brass or a weird off gold. It looks like more in line with the trim we see on this art piece than the actual main armor color. Cool effect to keep in mind, but not what we're looking for, and that was a bit unfortunate. So that didn't work out. And I think with that test and looking at this paint and looking at the two shades and everything, they are, and I'm not a paint expert or a paint chemist, so I can't really say anything like proper, but they do appear to be more like brown or yellow based, and then just whatever they did to that to make the effect. Meaning they don't feel like a tinted white, but more so like a modified yellow or brown. Ushabti Bone and Wraith Bone and Screaming Skull, even, those feel more like a white that is tinted to be the color it is versus a color lightened up to attempt to be that, if that makes any sense. So I'm thinking maybe Wraith Bone or Ushabti Bone diluted down by Lamia Medium to be transparent over metallic might bear some real fruit. Because at least when I look at this, and everybody's vision is going to give them something a little bit different, sure. When I see this though, it really does, and the steel color that they painted up, I think lends some support to that. But it really does feel like a metallic with some type of effect on it, like a metallic with a coating on it or something. So a transparency bone color might be the play for that. I'm also wondering though if Ushabti Bone and even Wraith Bone are maybe too yellowy tinged, and maybe it's a case of mixing white in with that to really make it off white feeling more, or like dirty white more so than yellowish at the end of the day when you thin it down. But I haven't tested that yet. I'm gonna test that sometime soon and see what happens if it bears any fruit. My last thoughts in passing are that maybe, depending upon how well or not well that concept works, is that maybe I am focusing too much on a metallic base, and maybe instead just a non-metallic base and painting up more like a traditional color scheme, and then trying to do like a metallic edge highlighting that's then washed by a thinned down version of the color you just painted to try and trick it into feeling like it's a metallic thing might be the play. Or I'm thinking way too much into that and I'm just overcomplicating things, and metallic base should be fine. I don't know. It all depends. So with that all said, yes, I am using GW colors for examples here. I own GW paints. The ones that I mentioned I do own. I am not opposed to like other paint companies. It's just that for ease of, I think more of us just have a better understanding in 40K because it's GW and paint, and that's GW paint and everything. Just it's easier to understand what colors I'm referring to by saying GW paints. Also, that's what I own. So, I'm not gonna go and get something that's very Ushabti Bone, but from a different company because I already own Ushabti Bone, so I don't need to do that. So yes, I am aware there's more than just GW paints out there. It's just what I have, and that's why I'm using it as the examples for what I've tried, because it's what I have to try. So with all that said, I encourage you, if you stumble across this ramble and have a thought as to a potential recipe, or if you've seen it done up as an example on the internet somewhere, and somebody did this armor color and made it as faithful as they could to this art piece, I'd love to know about it too. I've seen some stuff out there where they did the main armor color as a gray. It's a nice interpretation, but not what I'm looking for. So, with all that said, definitely hope you'll be part of the discussion and conversation in the comment section below. I'm going to test what I've mentioned lastly here, and hopefully people contribute, and depending upon what bears fruit, I'll test what people say, and if I find something that works, I'll do a follow-up ramble and discuss that as well. So whatever that is, I don't know though, but I will definitely, if something bears fruit, I will share it because it's just what you do. Anyways, that's it. So again, thanks for stopping by, and until next time, take it easy.